Achuta, ronda di hotonga kun honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule, tongking ba nunotek, tukning chatukun ne mulerabes. Jedo badawana ni di bobo, tong nabung siya nunungnya, tong patukas magtalea. Kachikun ida hodonga, iking kuno pa mulerachikun. Slimo podo na rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Achuta, wonga kun bis dolpi kikuyana. Tong patugas magtelea. Puna! Kamadumpa ku palea mukabata! Jiyoka ku dumpa ku palea! Ronda di kotonga kun hangkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek. Tukning chatukun ne mulerabes. Kachikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podo na rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabung siya nunungnya. Tong patukas magtalea. Mucho siyak pakat. Kieno no namapaule rachikun. Ronda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek. Tukning chatukun ne mulerabes. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabung siya nunungnya. Tong patukas magtalea. Kachikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno pa mulerachikun. Slimo podo na rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Achuta, wonga kun bis dolpi kikuyana. Tong patugas magtelea. Ronda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek. Tukning chatukun ne mulerabes. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabung siya nunungnya. Tong patukas magtalea. Kachikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podo na rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Achuta, wonga kun bis dolpi kikuyana. Tong patugas magtelea. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Mucho siyak pakat.
How may I be of assistance? What is it you would like? Well, I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that. In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds. Cathar was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran. They swooped down from space, across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed. We were not members of the Republic. Cathar was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the first war against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it. My parents carried me as a baby with them, and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able, and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard. My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives. But we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die. Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now.
How can I help? Then I suggest we move...
Yes, what's on your mind? Dantooine's a boring place. It's all plains and herders and small settlements. Perfect for the Jedi to lose themselves in, I guess. Well, that's all I can think of, at any rate. You got it.
got something on your mind, dude? No, I never did I? Of course you do. I know things, remember? You think you could make it around this part of the galaxy without me? But don't answer that. At any rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on. To bed! I'm old and tired, you know. How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters in the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask? So I could. Not having a ship does tend to put a damper on that kind of idea, however. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but be intrigued. Interest? Well, I certainly don't have a vested interest. Call it more idle curiosity. Your destiny is rather unclear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off, as if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick. Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. That can't be all bad. Nomi Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day. Nonsense. If I ever refused to help you when you asked, how confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? You're too young to be so talkative. Shoo! Shoo!
Uchua Pengti, you Chiwa Aita Kan Kichana, Chuporni Chiwi Aita Kat. Uchua Pengti. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Potong hitwama ji aki chiwa aita kan kichana chupornibo. Kun muri ras nimo poiwanga. Tong hitwama ji human ak inkatune. Ki muri ra kun kin. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muri ra tangi wama jiko na tongki pa nonku nek abog chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo kun muri ra slimo poiwanga tangi wama ji human ak ikatune chiwi aita ka chong chicha agi inko tune chuna muri ra tangi wama jiko na tongki pa nonku nek abog Ki muli ra kun kin. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Potong hitwama ji aki inkotun. Tong panokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki muli ra kun kin. Kimba no kun nik lorcha. Jiska dosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na wiki muli ra. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Jiska dosoki, topa bono nakachu, labora na winki smaktoma, kuyami jusku chitanai, uchua penki, topa na ota bokasa, yubabato kanchi, yatuka ulan. Tong hitwama aki inkotune. Potong hitwama ji aki inkotune. Tong panokun nonek chiwi aita ka chong chicha ki muli ra kun kin kimba no kun nik lorcha jiska dosoki kopa bono nakachu labora na winki smaktoma kuyami jusku chitanai uchua penki topa na ota bokasa yubabato kanchi yatuka ulan tong hitwama aki inkotune. Potong hitwama ji aki inkotun. Tong panokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki muli ra kun kin. Kimba no kun nik lorcha. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha.
Jolie, may I have a moment? There's something I wish to speak to you about.
Yep, I figured it was only a matter of time until we had the whole come back to the order discussion. Well, I guess there's no avoiding it now, so let's get it over with.
I know you have issues with the Order, but you are a Jedi, Jolie. You command the Force. Without the guidance of the Council, how can you avoid falling to the dark side?
Well, I've managed to avoid it the last 20 years or so. Besides, light side, dark side, they don't mean the same to me as they do to you. I don't see in absolutes. I want to stop Malik as much as anyone, but I don't have to join the Order to do it. Look at Karth, or Canderous. They're with us in this quest, but they aren't Jedi. The capacity for good or evil, like the Force itself, is in all living creatures. And belonging to the Jedi Order, the Sith, or any group, won't change what you are at your core.
I see you were quite adamant. No doubt you've had ample time to think on this during your long seclusion. I guess it was foolish of me to think I could sway your position so easily.
Yeah, I'm old and stubborn. But I appreciate the effort. But from now on, you can just think of me as any other non-Jedi in our little group. With a lightsaber. And force powers.
Sorry, buddy. Ever since the murder, the Selkath have made me keep this place locked up tight. Only the Selkath authorities, and those authorized by them, are allowed in. This old Republic war hero by the name of Sunry was seeing the Sith woman here, Alasa. Well, they were seeing each other, but the other night a blaster went off in one of the rooms. Sunry got seen leaving the place, and the Sith woman was dead on the floor. But not everyone thinks this Sunry did it. So the Selkath are holding him in prison, while the case gets sorted out. In the meantime, they closed down my hotel. But enough about my problems.
Jolie, it is you. I need your help.
Laura, of all the people, how did you even know I'd left Kashyyyk?
I didn't. Nobody knew where you were, not even Sunry. But I heard the Selkath mention you and your friends. The Force has brought you to help us.
Why, whatever could be the matter, my dear?
It's horrible, Jolie. Sunry has been arrested. The Sith have accused him of murder.
Murder? But how?
It's all a mistake, Jolie. Sunry isn't a murderer. Someone is trying to frame him.
Calm down, Laura. Where's Sunry now?
Sunry's being held at the Selkath courts. They won't let anyone in to see him. Please, go to the courts. Talk to the judges. Maybe the Selkath will listen to you.
Don't worry, Laura. We'll get to the bottom of this and help Sunry. Somehow. Got something on your... What? You think because I'm a hermit, I've always been a hermit? Just because I haven't seen Sunry for 20 years doesn't mean he's not a friend. The man could have changed a lot in that span of time, though. But to become a murderer, I can't see it. That's not the Sunry I knew. He was a good man. Put me up in his home for a year back after I left the Order. War hero, too. Or so I hear. I wouldn't mind helping the fellow if we can. I owe it to him. Or you can be a young monkey lizard and ignore me, I guess. I don't expect much these days. I suppose you're Sunry's only hope. We have to at least try to help him. Yes, but it almost seems too heavily stacked, doesn't it? Very suspicious. got something on your mind. Oh, I get.
I hear you've been appointed as arbiter in Sunry's trial. My husband is innocent. Please don't let him go to jail for a crime he didn't commit. Sunry is... he's a cripple. There's no way he could have overpowered the Sith woman like they claim.
That's true. I'd forgotten about that. Let's not forget that he would have to have been considerably older than the Sith woman. I'm a Jedi, and one who is living alone in the Shadowlands until recently. That keeps you in shape, damn it. We're talking about Sunry here.
And there's no way he would do something so dishonorable as hit her from behind. Sunry's a decorated war hero. He's a hero of the Republic. Find the real evidence. That's all I ask. The real evidence will prove Sunry didn't do this.
Jolee, what are you doing here? Alora sent me, Sunry. I'm here to get you out of this mess. The courts went and made us arbiters for your case.
Just like old times, eh, Jolee? You come swooping in out of nowhere to save my tail from the fire?
You saved my wrinkled butt more than a few times as well, friend, if I recall. But there'll be time for catching up later. Right now, we need to focus on the case.
The case is a complete frame-up. Anyone looking at the evidence could see that. So I thought. But the Cellcast seem to think that there's enough to go to trial. There aren't any witnesses. All that evidence against me is circumstantial and completely flawed. I guess you could interview witnesses at the hotel where the murder happened. Cellcast already did that, but the fish folk don't have much rapport with Offworlders. Maybe one of them was holding something back. But I think you'd be better off investigating the Sith themselves. Maybe you could find some proof they planted evidence to frame me. Though that might mean figuring out a way into the Sith embassy. Anything else I can help you with, I want my arbiter. Well, I was at the hotel, I admit. And I did meet Alasa there that night, but it's not what you think. I was working with Republic intelligence. We were pretending to feed information to the Sith. Well, I turned Alasa into a double agent working for us. It was going well, too, until she turned up dead. Maybe the Sith had found out I was turning her and had her eliminated. But let's look at the facts they've given. Alasa was brutally killed. Think about that. She was a Sith, trained in battle, and I'm just a crippled old man. My war injuries make it difficult for me to walk, even to hold things. See how my hands are shaking? How could I kill a Sith warrior at close quarters? I ask you! Further, they say they found my heroes cross at the crime scene. Would I leave my war medal behind if I killed someone? Even I'm not that stupid. Obviously, the Sith planted the cross. And what about the lack of forensic evidence? Skin and hair samples, clothing fibers. Why isn't there anything like that at the crime scene? Sounds like an obvious frame-up to me. I hope you can see how the Sith are manipulating the Cellcat, and probably even you to set up this against me. We need to get this over with quickly and clear my name. Anything else I can help you with? I want my arbiter to be well prepared before we go to trial. Very well. Once you've gotten enough evidence to go to trial,
something on your... Oh, I get it.
How can I help? Can I suggest we...
You're the one defending Sunry now, huh? Well, the hotel's open for you. And I guess I gotta answer any questions you want too. The Sith woman, Alasa, rented a room in the hotel. An hour or two later, Sunry comes in and goes to her room. A couple hours later, I hear a blaster shot and see Sunry running. He can't run good because he's a cripple, but he still was going pretty fast. I would swear he started after the shot, though. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'll tell the court Sunry left before the shot went off.
I guess this is what they call working the system. Not that I'm objecting. I just hope the Cellcath don't find out about it.
Now, was there anything else you want? Alasa used to rent rooms here every week or so. Then Sunry would come by a couple hours later and stay all night. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what was going on. There were only two other people in the hotel when it happened. One was a Rhodian named Glupor. Seems like a really dirty, shifty type. Normally I don't let his kind in here. I'm a reputable businessman, you know. But there weren't many people here, so I decided to take a chance. The other is a regular named Firith Me. He's a Pazak player. Probably an addict, but he claims he's big in some circles. Don't know anything about him other than that. Anything else you want to know? Well, okay.
You with the Cellcath? I told the damn fish everything I knew. What more do you all want from me? Sunry, I only heard of once or twice in passing. Some sort of old-time war hero against the Sith. Seen him around in the hotel, too. Going to Alasa's room always, of course. Kept the rest of the building up half the night with their damn antics usually. I'm not saying anything like that. What they did in that room, in private, is their business. And there isn't any rule against Sith and Republic seeing each other for personal reasons. Although if you think her Sith master didn't know, you must be fooling yourself. Well, Alasa was a Sith, so of course she'd have to have someone above her. Yeah, I didn't see anything. You know, I think I could trust you. Heck, I don't even know why I shouldn't tell you. Well, one time, I saw Alasa coming in wearing this big cloak. I was on my way to my room, and she normally wears stuff like that, so I didn't pay her too much attention. But this time, I accidentally brushed up against her. Accidentally, of course, and her cloak fell open. Now, I don't have any qualms about the Sith. I leave them alone, and they leave me alone. And seeing as how Alasa had a Sith lightsaber under her cloak, I'm not going to poke that hornet's nest. Seems so. But I'm not getting myself in any further with the Sith. I know. Now that's all I'm going to tell you.
Chikikuns. Glupor tanghit wanaji sarkat agi inko tune glupor mulira chuna mulira tonk glupor kit pa non kunyeksit abog. Glupor yon tung chiwi ita bola un jikne mulira glupor kon muli slimo pui wanga kun viskin glupor kin panik chalora kun. Grupor chi ita kanki chana kilikon. Grupor nibo jimata wipun nage. Tong abag sunsham u grupor ninong. Grupor tong hit wamaji sarkat ad inko tune. Tong kimba no kun nikset abog. Glupor picha ge borang turang. Glupor wangki yuma batmalyo no wish. Glupor no una pankpa mulira kong ing. Glupor chang waba chinyo shang wi chama ucha wish uyong kung. Glupor tang itwamachi. Glupor tang abag shang glupor non pitesa. Glupor kachopa bo.
You, Jedi, I hear you are investigating the Sunry murder trial, are you not? This case is not at all what it appears to be. Many currents, might I say, flow beneath the surface. This murder is much more complicated than it may first appear. The Sunry and Elassa are proxies for their governments, and both sides want the other to fail. You can see the journey by the footprints. You understand, yes? Dear, dear. I'm saying they both had something to do with it. They've both kept their hands in this from the start. If you want to get to the bottom of this murder, you might seek information from both the Sith and the Republic, likely in their embassies. No, of course not. You think state secrets are for sale on the common market? You would have to be devious to get what you want. Heed my advice, Jedi, and you may yet find the truths in this murder.
I have no desire.
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mokarpata.
I hear you've been appointed... What? Don't...
Now, Elora. We're not here to pass judgment, my dear.
Yes. Yes, he was having an affair. He was seeing that Sith woman. After all these years we've been together, he just dropped me like that. Not publicly, oh no. But inside, that's what it feels like. He started seeing Alasa last year. I had my suspicions for a while, but he was careless. Pretty soon everyone knew. But even though I'm sure that harlot was only using him, I know he couldn't have killed her. He came and confessed to the affair to me. He said he was going to try to break it off, to end it. Maybe the Sith woman attacked him, and he had to defend himself. But even though he cheated on me, inside he's still the man I loved. Love. He's too kind and gentle to have killed her in cold blood. That was a long time ago, in a war far, far away. He's changed now, settled down. Oh, just please, prove his innocence. This is all a plot to discredit the Republic.
It's possible. I haven't seen Sunry since I crashed on Kashyyyk. The man can change a lot in that time. The man I knew could never have done this crime, however.
Find the real evidence. That's all I ask. The real evidence will prove Sunry didn't do this.
Jolie, coming to check in on an old man? I must confess, I would rather you were here to speak to the warden and begin my trial.
Soon, old friend. We don't want to go to trial until we've got the whole picture.
Oh, I grow weary of staring at these four bare walls. But I suppose you know what you're doing. You know, the role of arbiter cannot be taken lightly. Go ahead, ask. I don't know what this must look like, yes. Yes, we were having an affair. I know it was wrong, but I'm a weak man. Alasa was beautiful and young. How was I to resist her charms? But I didn't kill her. I loved her. Please. I know I made a terrible mistake getting involved with Alasa, but I was going there to break it off with her. I did it, but found out later that she was dead. I don't deserve to go to jail just for having an affair, do I? You have to help me prove that I wasn't the killer. Well, you know I was having an affair with Alasa. I went there to break it off that night. But I can tell you it wasn't easy. She was young and beautiful. But I love Elora. I knew I had to do it. I broke it off quickly as I could, and then I left. I found out later she'd been murdered when the Selkath authorities came knocking on my door. But let's look at the facts they've given. Alasa was brutally killed. Think about that. She was a Sith, trained in battle, and I'm just a crippled old man. My war injuries make it difficult for me to walk, even to hold things. See how my hands are shaking? How could I kill a Sith warrior at close quarters? I ask you. Further, they say they found my hero's cross at the crime scene. Would I leave my war medal behind if I killed someone? Even I'm not that stupid. Obviously, the Sith planted the cross. And what about the lack of forensic evidence? Skin and hair samples, clothing fibers. Why isn't there anything like that at the crime scene? Sounds like an obvious frame-up to me. I hope you can see how the Sith are manipulating the Selkath, and probably even you to set up this against me. We need to get this over with quickly and clear my name. Anything else I can help you with? I want my arbiter to be well prepared before we go to trial. Very well. I suppose there is still much you must do before the trial. Once you've gotten enough evidence to go to trial, just tell the warden we're ready. The sooner I get out of the cell, the better.
I hear you've been appointed. He started seeing Alasa last year. I had my suspicions for a while, but he was careless. Pretty soon everyone knew. But even though I'm sure that harlot was only using him, I know he couldn't have killed her. He came and confessed to the affair to me. He said he was going there to break it off, to end it. Maybe the Sith woman attacked him, and he had to defend himself. But even though he cheated on me, inside he's still the man I loved. Love. He's too kind and gentle to have killed her in cold blood. That was a long time ago. This is all a plot.
It's possible.
Find the real evidence.
When I get out of here.
Oh, it's you again. I probably should cut back, but I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm just here to have a couple of drinks and try to unwind, you know? What is there to investigate? Obviously, Sunry is guilty, but the Republic is doing everything they can to keep him out of a Selkath prison. But I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm just here to have a couple of drinks and try to unwind, you know? Oh, I get it. I get a little bit wild, and you want to hold it against me. Come on, what's the matter? Afraid I'll drink you under the table? Hey, if you're not man enough to keep up, who needs you? Seems I'm not ladylike enough for some men. Well, I may be a woman, but I'm still a soldier. Barkeep, bring me another round.
You're the one defending Sunry now, huh? Well, the hotel's open for you. And I guess I gotta answer any questions you want, too. Elasa used to rent rooms here every week or so. Then Sunry would come by a couple hours later and stay all night. It doesn't take a genius. The Sith woman, Elasa, rented a room in the hotel. An hour or two later, Sunry comes in and goes to her room. A couple hours later, I hear a blaster shot and see Sunry running. He can't run good because he's a cripple, but he still was going pretty fast. I would swear he started after the shot, though. Yeah, I'm pretty... No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'll tell the court Sunry left before the shot went off.
I guess this is what they call working the system. Not that I'm objecting. I just hope the Cellcats don't find out about it.
Now, was there anything else you wanted? Well, okay.